Hello, guys, and welcome to this week's episode of a lyrical podcast. In today's week's episode, I want to talk here actually about forgiveness because I explored this topic. I decided that I want to do about this topic only yesterday because I just thought about the idea, what exactly I want to tell. And I watched my favorite influencer, and she talked about forgiveness and grace, and I decided that I want to explore this topic from my perspective. So we are gonna talk about this. But before that, I wanna just have some warm up and talk about my week. This week I decided that I want to solve puzzles. I do not actually do that on everyday basis or like in general, but I was reading Akatar, like I'm on a forest book. Yes, I think so. Like I'm on a forest book, and one character from this book, she just solved puzzles, and I was like, okay, guys, I'm so inspired, and I'm gonna show you some puzzles that I solve. I just have found them that I have bought it before, but I just never solved them. I don't know why. I have solved actually little piece like this, and somewhere in here. I'm not sure. I don't think that I will be able to finish them, but we will see. Okay. So also what I had, I slept really bad, like 2 days in this week, like in a row, because on the first day, I decided that I want to see Lyris. I hope that I pronounce it correctly. And how I decided to do that, like in general. 1 month ago, I downloaded an app called Sky Guide. I think that it is popular one and well known, so you should probably understand it, or you can Google some stuff. It just has different events that is gonna happen, like falling stars or whatever, just like cycles of the moon, and you can watch different constellations. So I was like, okay, I'm really excited to see these Lyrids. And in my area, they had to be at 3 a.m. And they were located actually on this space where I would not be able to see it really good from my window. So I had to go outside. I didn't go outside actually, but I tried to look at them from the window, but it wasn't successful. It is like a little spoiler. But how I decided, I decided that I'm not gonna do that at first. I was like, okay, I want to, but it is too late. I don't want to wake up in the middle of the night and just do this random stuff. But I was going on the first floor. I have a room on the second one, and I was drinking the water, and I was looking outside, and it was a really beautiful moon there, and amazing constellations. So I was like, okay, guys, probably I'm gonna wake up at 3. So I was just lying on my bed. I had an alarm that will wake me up at that specific time. I set everything up because near my window I have different plants and a lamp and whatever stuff. So I had to relocate it. So everything was sad, okay? And I was just lying on my bed, and I was like, okay, guys, I'm so excited. I cannot fall asleep. And I was just like, okay, I want to record, like, how's there gonna fall? And probably just make some pictures. Maybe I'm gonna journal a bit about that. So I was really enthusiastic about that idea. And I have not fallen asleep to that time, like only for 50 minutes probably. And I just wake up, I sit and look out of the window, and I see literally nothing. I knew that I had to wait like 2 hours to see at least something because it was like from 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. I hope that I'm correct. And I just waited only for 25 minutes, I think so. And it is fairly small amount of time, and also like the position wasn't the best. I think that I would be able to say something, but just like later. But I was so tired, and I was like, okay, guys, I'm disappointed. It is so really cold in my room because I also opened a window. So, okay, guys, I have 5 hours to sleep properly before school and like my other stuff that I need to do, like my routine, okay? So I was like, okay, really disappointed. And on this calendar, I think that I have like some common events, but they're not that exciting. However, on a 1st of May, probably some lyrics will happen again. They're not gonna be like that huge as it was like before because it was like 15 once per hour, but this time it's like less, okay? I'm not gonna go into specifics of it. I'm not sure. It's not like really reliable information, but like let's approximate it, okay? So it was like that. I was really excited, but I end up to be disappointed, and everything was fine the next day. But the next day, I also slept really bad because I decided that I'm gonna talk with my friend, and we had a fluent conversation. She falls asleep really late. I'm like at 10 or 11. I don't like staying like too late, okay? So it was a good conversation, but it was late and I was tired again, and it wasn't so productive the next day. But I think that it is fine. Like the day after that, I was pretty productive and everything was fine. And I think that like from some events that I wanted to tell, it is all. So we are gonna go into the topic of forgiveness. I'm really excited. I also brought my journal. I'm gonna give a credit to my best friend who presented it to me, and I really love it, and I love her. Yes, so I have started this journal actually I think yes, months ago, or like 2 months approximately, and I have written this much. And still have so many free space, and I decided that I'm gonna have a little plan and just like gather all my information, like all my knowledge and my thoughts on this topic of forgiveness, and write it down so I will be able to explain it more clearly. I'm not sure will it be like that or not. Probably not, because I decided that I'm gonna like read this information that I have written yesterday, and it wasn't really successful. And I think that we are gonna go with the flow because like why not? I don't want to memorize all this stuff and just like tell it to you guys because it's gonna be boring, and I can read it like in less than a minute and everything would be fine. Even though it is like 7 pages, it could be more, but my fingers ached, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna go any farther in this topic. So, yeah, I have heard Madeline's perspective on this topic, and I think that it is interesting, but I want to say my perspective too. And actually, I would say that for me, forgiveness doesn't even exist. I think that it is more of understanding other people and just like in general how I experience reality. So I think that like forgiveness is gonna be like the main topic, but to expand it, I'd first have to tell you how I experience reality, like in general. So, for me, forgiveness doesn't exist not because I'm some like diabolical person who doesn't forgive people or I don't know, like aggressive or whatever. I'm more like understanding and I want to help people to understand their emotions too. I do not have forgiveness because of three main reasons, I think. Let's, I think, no, let's start from the fact how I experience reality, okay? And I am so empathetic person. I experienced so many emotions, and actually, on Saturday, my sister had dancing competition, and I was really emotional that day. I think that I ruminated on every past connection and on many situations that I had, and like for example, will have in the future, and it was really crazy. It was many emotions, and I think that it was because it really like this competition at first it was like my past because I also participated in something like that and even in on the same stage. So I think that it was the first factor. Second factor, it was because it really reminded me of a Throne of Glass series where Selena really enjoyed piano music and I don't like theaters and like stage in general. And for me, like dancing, it is some huge art that helps you express different emotions and tell the story of other people. So it was really interesting for me to like to see it and just like to understand and also just like go around in my head and just like have many thoughts about like my situations that are really like similar to the story or just like in general to think because I love have weekends because I can properly rest finally and just like be in my head and think also be like enjoy being in social setting and just like enjoy life in general. So it was actually crazy how many emotions I really experienced, and I don't think that anything else contributed to this like to my emotional state. I think that it was just like in general my mood that day. So it was like that, and I think that my emotional, like empathetic side, it developed when I started reading because right now I read about many perspectives. I'm also very nervous about characters and like their stories. It's like part of me and what they experience. It is like something that I experience too. And I think that it is a well-known factor is that reading helps you to be more empathetic, especially if it's like fiction and I don't know, like some fantasy or romance or whatever, just like for fun, that you read for fun. Not like wellness, self-development books. I love self-development podcasts, but not books. I don't know, for me it is like really hard. So I just like develop my empathetic side by reading like fantasy novels and romance. It also makes my life so much better, my well-being so much better. I'm just like full of happiness and light and I don't know. I'm just like so childish and have these miracles. I think in my personality, in my presence, in my eyes, even I called the podcast Valerical. It is like Valerie, my name, and Miracle. It's just like together. So I'm really obsessed. And I think that it's gonna be like all on this empathetic side because I really like every situation. I overthink so many situations before I go to bed. Even like I can daydream and analyze situation and analyze person's feelings and just like think why they did it, what happened to them. Not like in a not like in a bad way, but just like more in a good way that I'm really excited to understand other people, even if they did something good to me, like what influenced them to come to this stage of life to be like that. Because I think that a lot of stuff requires like inner work and also just like consuming a specific content. So it's just like that, and it is really interesting to like unravel their story and how they think, also to speak to them privately and just like get to know them better and just like really understand how their mind works, because it is a really interesting process, because every person experiences like emotions differently. They have their own realities. They think about like, for example, I don't know, like puzzles differently, or about like table, or about seasons, and like whatever, about everything differently. So it is really interesting to like understand it and learn it and study it and just like observe people. For example, you can go outside in a park and just sit on a like sit there and just like observe people, and you will see like their slight habits that they make. For example, they're going and just like brushing their hair like in some strange way, some like specific to them way. Or I don't know, like somebody has a dog and he walks a dog. It is also signifies like some interesting traits about them. So it is really interesting. But okay, let's move right now to second part. I know that it was kind of harsh to jump from like this empathetic topic to this one that I'm gonna tell you. That I have a thing that I can control my mind so pretty good. At least I think so, okay? I know that nothing can be like perfectly controlled and whatever because of a destiny, God, universe, whatever you believe. Personally, the most I believe in universe and destiny. I'm really fucking obsessed with that. But I think that it will be topic for like some other episodes, for some other chapters of my life. So yes, like nothing can be controlled, but at least you can try to control your mind. It is in what I believe. And I just like put everything on specific shelves, and I can choose like when I want to experience emotions and when I do not want to experience emotions like at all, like to detach completely. I think that I have mastered that art of detachment in some my personal way, probably not in like a universal one, but like in my own way. So about this detachment, like sometimes I can just like that I can turn off my emotions and my feelings and just like, not that I experience hollowness inside of me, I just like be, I'm like in a peace. And I know that I have myself, and I know that it's like my reality and I'm center of it. And I just think that other people, it is more like hallucination, or they're not real, they're like all inside of my head. I don't know, it is really strange, but I think that it happens most when I like stay at home for a long period of time. And because of that, I immerse myself like into my head, into my education, into my hobbies. So I really develop this sense of self. And when I go outside, I'm not used to social interactions. And when I experience different energy, I cannot even recognize it because I'm too absorbed in myself. So I think that it is like sad. I'm not sure. I journaled about it. I think that it is pretty straightforward for me how I sense it. But it's not that I'm not present in conversation or that I'm like ignorant or distant. No, I'm fully present, but actually, maybe I'm not fully present because one time, one comment were made that I was like here, but also like in some other world of mine. So probably not a whole sense of me is present, but I think that the majority of me is present and I give my energy to the person, they give me their energy. We have a pretty good discussion and everything is fine. But I think that I will study it even more, but I think that it is like this that I'm just like I believe that I'm center of the universe, like at least of my universe, like everybody has their own universe and their center of their universe. That I'm like a center and I cannot recognize people, especially if they're not in my close circle. Because people that are in my close circle, it is okay for me. I just like I understand that they're present, that I have communication with them, I see them frequently, and everything is fine. But people that I do not meet really often, I just do not remember them. Like my brain, I think, erases them from my reality, from my brain, probably to clear up space for my education, what I study every single day. Because putting foreign languages, also like coding, and also a lot of hobbies, it can be freaking hard. So probably it erases these experiences like with some people that doesn't even matter to me, and just like their presence and their energy is also erased from my memory. So yes, it is really strange, but it is really also interesting because when I go outside with this mentality, I can be more harsh and more direct, but I think that it is the fact that I just who I am and I have no fear to be judged by who I am and what I think. Probably I can be softer sometimes, but I do not consider it a problem. But sometimes I think that it leads to me not feeling emotions like at all to other people because I think that they're just in my mind and everything doesn't even exist. So I'm like, I don't know. I have like miracles and unicorns in my reality, and it is all. And because of that, it blocks my emotions. But I don't know. Second, what I have, it is a concept called intellectualization. It is what I have read about because I wasn't concerned like what happens to me, but I was just like interested what the actual fuck happens, okay? And intellectualization is just like turning your emotions into logical sentences, basically. That, for example, um, instead of feeling sad, you just like think about the situation and you understand like it was really like not unexpected that it happened. Okay, so for example, you get hurt or you get upset because like of a some event, but it was like a really common event, for example, or the outcome was like 90% possible. So it is something that I have learned actually recently about, but I do it really, really often, to my surprise. And I didn't have a lot of like romantic relationships. Actually, I didn't have any serious ones. It was just like some strange stuff that happened, but I think that in these situations it is the most important to have it. I don't think that it is something bad because I still have emotions, so like have like this logic sentences and emotions. It is a really good stuff because the life is easier, and I'm really happy that I'm not so sensitive and emotional. Yes. And it really helps to leave me and be this productive and determined girly. So I'm really grateful for that. And this intellectualization, I think that it can be learned if you practice it. But for me, I think that it occurred because I started to learn, I think, psychology in some sort of way because I started to listen to different like inner work podcasts. So it helped me with that. And also because I'm concentrated on a more math oriented field, it is like programming. Also, I have math in school. I also like interested in it. Also, I practice physics for my exams, and just like I have diverse hobbies, and I think that many of them connected with logic and math. So I think because of that, I developed this intellectualization problem. So I don't think that it is a problem. I would really recommend to have it actually. But it's fine if you don't. Like everybody like is perfect. Like actually not everybody is perfect, but they're unique in their own way. So yes. And third, third factor why I sometimes do not feel feelings because oh my god, I study so much and I overwhelm myself so much that so when I go outside, I just want to rest. For me, just like going out and just like chill and relax, and it is all completely. And when I have like some complicated emotions thrown at me in this social setting, I just like turn it off because like I'm at home, I'm always tired like after the work day, after a study day, because I put so much effort in it, like so much energy in it, like not only creative, like mental, sometimes physical, but it's just like working out. And it is really hard to also deal with these complicated emotions and to feel so many complicated emotions because I put energy in other sources. So I think that like it is something that I discovered for myself that happens and can be a cause of this not feeling emotions problem. I think that it is also good. Probably later in life, I will have to change it somehow because I will be in a more social setting, like more often. I mean, not right now. Right now, I go out um not like rarely, but not that often, and it is mainly not for educational purposes, or it's just like to chill and go out with my friends or my family, or just have a rest day. Okay, I study mainly at home. I have school at home because I have school online. And I have a lot of courses online, and I study myself. Like, I have a lot of stuff online. I do not go to any libraries or cafes. I just like completely at home. So I think that it is like three factors that influence me not having emotions, and me, so empathetic self that analyzes other people and understands why they feel specific emotions. I'm able to be in their position, but also my not emotional situation, like my side, like my not emotional side that turns everything into logic sentences. I'm able to understand also a negative perspective and a positive perspective, and just like make a table like from like positive traits and from negative traits, and just like make it exist together, and just acknowledge two sides and understand this person completely. Also, just considering my emotions and my feelings. Uh, I don't know, like sometimes I kind of feel sad, but I don't think that I have ever hold any grudges to other people, because I just usually think that it is their choice how they decided to behave in a particular situation, and it is their life, it is their choices. It doesn't mean that they can disrespect me, they cannot disrespect me, so I cross a line, I put a boundary, or say goodbye, goodbye, you're not gonna be in my life ever again. But still, I respect their choice because it is their life, and they also had like some events that led them to make this choice. Like probably it is also destiny that came and decided to remove this person from my life. It is also possible situation. And probably I have something better and something exciting like on the side, and I just need to get rid of this person or to get rid of this situation in general. And for example, it can be like the same with me, okay? Like for everybody it is like identical, like different situations, different people, different events, but the logic, the structure is identical. And actually I think that my story of my friendship is really connected with this letting go and giving people spaces, because in a first grade at primary school, like in first and second, I was a friend with one girl, and I don't know like what exactly happened, but she distanced herself and she was friend with another girl, and I was left completely alone because I didn't go to kindergarten. I was just really shy and quiet a person, that I didn't have any other friends, and I was just like sitting on school breaks and having nothing to do. And I never actually blamed her for her choice. I don't know what mentality I had when I was a kid, but I was like, okay, it is her choice. I respect it. If she doesn't want to be my friend, I'm not gonna compel her to be my friend. So I was just sitting alone for half of the year or even whole year. I hated school breaks. I just waited for lessons because I didn't like to sit on my chair someplace and not talk to anybody and just like to be completely alone. But everybody had fun. It is, I think, the only memory like that. Probably I tried to communicate with others. I do not remember actually, but I remember like this fact explicitly. And after in third and fourth grade, I got friends with other girl, and we were really good friends. I was really excited. For me, I think at least in that period of time, she was better than my previous one, and we really had so much fun. I made more friends. I started to be more talkative. Actually, I was still shy, but I was talkative. Yeah, it's just like complex. And after something happened probably in her life, I do not know, because she changed completely and she started to be friends with like some older people, and like I mean like from our age. For example, we were, I don't know like how old we were, but like 2 years older, okay, or just like even older, I'm not sure. And I was like, okay, I do not like it. I wanna have her as a friend. I really love her and I enjoy her company. And I decided that I'm gonna try to just fix it somehow. And I communicated with her like, okay, we have like some distance between each other. Can we just like try to be as we were before? Just like try to fix it, to have this marvelous friendship that we always had. And she was actually a good friend, and she started to take me with her to her other friends, but I wasn't interested in that. I was just like standing there, and the topics were not that I was really enthusiastic about. And I was like, okay. Like in my head, I was like, okay, I understand. So I'm gonna remove myself from this situation because I'm not interested in that currently. Like it is her life, okay. She decided to go on that path. I'm not gonna go on that path myself. And for a year, I think, or even less, I'm not sure. I started to be friends with my current best friend, and I think that it is like was led by Destiny because we have never spoken to each other before, and I didn't even acknowledge her before, I think. But it was like a spontaneous moment when I advertised her my dancing club, and we started to talk and to chat and to meet there and just like to text each other. So it was really really good, and we are friends to this day, and I'm really grateful for her, how like this universe led me to speak to her, to just like to be her friend. And right now she's actually abroad, and it was one hard moment for us in our relationships, like in our friendships, when she moved abroad. But I was currently like at home in my like home country, and it was a time when war started, and I was a child, and I was freaking like wasn't depressed, I would say, but I was like so much inside of my head, and I don't think that it was the best space because like at first I was always so anxious before bed, and just like for like multiple routine reasons, okay? Like it was, I don't know, some strange stuff, like completely. But after war started, I was so anxious for my life too. So I was like constantly in that anxious loop, and I was always worried. I have also like my stuff going on. So it was crazy. And when she went abroad, I like, I distanced myself, I think, but it was in a way that my mentality like told me, okay, we are gonna give her space because it's just like I thought that she's gonna have new life, and I was like, okay, I'm so happy for her, and I'm gonna give her that space that with what she will be able to build her like future and her life, like her present even. But she actually started to communicate with me more and more. It was like, okay, so she wants to be still my friend. I didn't believe like in online friendship before, like in a relationship, in relationships at all, because for me it is something, I don't know, it is a miracle for me. But with her, I learned that friendships at least are possible, like even online, and having this like marvelous and magnificent connection. It just like it depends on the choices of two people. And for me, it is something really unexpected how people that are really different but have similar traits can be really good friends and be so supportive and kind. And for me, she's just like a sunshine, and I love her so much. And probably it's not a topic that is really connected to forgiveness, but in the same time it is, because I do not have forgiveness. I just give people space and respect their choices, because I think that person's life is influenced by their choices. Like, even you have had really, I don't know, like tragic experiences in your life, you still choose that mentality and choose like some habits and actions that you do like consciously, like you're aware of it and you can change it. Probably I have not had like a lot of traumatic experiences in my life, and for me it is easier to talk, but still, like some actions, they're just choices. Like right now I can also be like a really lazy or able person, but I just choose not to be. I choose to be kind of person who understands other people and who also works and concentrates on themselves. So it is like that. So I just like give people space. I respect their choices. If they do something bad to me, I either distance myself completely or I can just cut them out mentally. I so like later when they're gonna do something bigger of disrespect. If it was like minor before, and I will be like mentally prepared like for something bigger, like they just, it's not like, it's really strange to say like cut out mentally. What I mean by that, they just like, I start not acknowledge them in my mind. I'm just like, it's you that you were talking to me. I do not know you. I knew what you did. I know how good person you are, but you still did it to me. And it didn't hurt, but it was not a really pleasant act of you. And for me, like it is disrespect. So I'm not gonna deal with you like fully. So when like bigger disrespect comes, I just like cut them out completely. I don't know. It's not as that hard for me, and I do not know why. Probably because the majority of time it happens with people who are not in my close circle. Or if they're in my close circle, I just think that it is life and everybody changes and new people will come. And people who are meant to stay in your life will always stay in your life despite the fact how much you change. And I think that everybody should be supportive and like really understanding to other people and do no harm to others, and there will be nothing to forgive even. And if, I don't know, like when I watched Madeline's podcast and she talked about forgiveness, is that she has some people that she cannot forgive because of what they have done to her. I don't know. I deal with that like I completely detached, and I just, I do not feel hurt because I intellectualize Zate? I don't know. I just like put everything into logic sentences, and I understand a people's perspective, I understand my perspective. I just like sit and think about it, and I was like, I don't want this person to be in my life. Like, okay, they have hurt me, so they're not my person. Like, why would they do that to me, Zan? If they would truly love me, they would not do that. Like, I don't care. It can be a friend, it can be a lover, whatever. It's just like not specifically for relationships. So I think for me it is like that, just like to put everything abstract, to not have feelings, but still be empathetic to other people and be grateful for good experiences with them, but also remember bad experiences with them. So you're not gonna like live in some type of dream, so you're gonna forgive them and they are gonna do the same shit to you again. So I think that it is all on this topic. Probably it didn't make sense, like in some sort of way. Probably it just like went off to different topic, not forgiveness. But I hope that you really enjoyed it, and you will come to some conclusions, probably. Or just like have your thoughts and just like think about it. So, yes, thank you for watching.